Hi, welcome to this introduction video concerning linear regression implementation through Pyro. So as we can see, we have 6 variables in front of us. The 2 variables that we're going to use for this first example is Budweiser price and the VIX. So the Budweiser price was taken at a certain date from the Bloomberg terminals. So we can see in row 2 there, 73.164, and that was the last price of Budweiser at that date. And then we can move on to the VIX, which is basically a volatility index. So the volatility index is basically volatility of the market at that current time is tracked through Bloomberg as an index. So moving to Pyro now, we can input the data. So we want to go basically to new file. So around there, so new file, and we want to go to binary and choose the file. And put in, I think I have it named as stock.csv. We can open that. And that appears here. Next, we want to add an ML file. So we'll go to new model. So ML file, new file, model, and we'll call it linear regression. LR. Next, we want to basically read the CSV file. So for this, we need to go to the table. So we want to basically move down. So we can scroll down, go to Jupyter, and we basically want to move into table util and load CSV. And we can drag that out. Next, we want to get the regression. So we want to move again to regression and go to display graph of regression. And we want to collect the note of those blocks then. So firstly, the blocks needs a URL of the file and the delimiter text. For that, we need a file path constant, and that we will give the name of our file, and we'll call that our stock CSV. So we'll go to our, the easiest thing to do is to actually just bring out a file constant. So we can move the constant and bring that out. And we want to basically call that our file is stock.csv. And then we're going to basically connect that with the URL. Next, the input, we want to draw a text x constant and enter a comma as it is a CSV file. So another text constant, and we'll enter a comma as it is a CSV file. And we'll collect that to the delimiter text. So now the first step is completed, and the output will be connected then to the regression block. And it needs 2 inputs, x and y. Here we can see the names of the variables of the different variables on input. So for the x block, we can input the VIX. So we'll basically go back to Pyro and we will add another text constant. We can drag that out. And basically we're going to use that for x and bud price for y. And we can keep it nice and neat as well in the Pyro as well, so it'll be easy for people to read as well. And we can use that for bud price. And we can connect those these two then with x and y. So that is done now. So all we need to do is go to the regression. Is also requiring an input with the polynum.num. So we will need to do that. So we need to, for I suppose for the linear regression itself, we need to input one. So we cannot we connect and then another output to be connected with this. So we can put that through polynum. That should stick there. Perfect. And then our model to our regression. And now we can basically execute that. So execute on Jupyter. And we can now see the regression snapshot. Just takes a couple of seconds to come up. And it gives you an idea of what you're looking at regarding the data of both price and the VIX. So if you want to move anything, we can simply reconnect these as it's shown in Pyro how we did it. And we can basically just go back to Pyro and reconnect something if we thought we had a problem or something. So we can see here we can just reconnect that changed anything that needs to be, but we'll just reset that note to the previous settings, and we can just execute that again when we have that done, just to make sure that everything is okay with it. And we can execute, and that comes up okay. Brilliant. So now if you want to actually predict something, as we can also do that in Pyro, because here we're obviously only reviewing the behavior and results of the data. So if we actually want to predict, we can move back to Pyro again and examine the predictions and how this can be actually implemented. So we can discard that. And we can basically we can bring out our predict regression, and we can delete this one. So we can delete that. So this also requires one input, one output. Output will be the prediction, so we need to print num and connect those as well. So we can print both of those. So another num constant as well will be needed. So we'll bring out our print num first. And we can connect both of those. And we can then move up to our number constant, and we can bring that out and connect that again. So for this, we'll try and have a look at a prediction. So what makes sense here? 133 maybe for the fix. So that's close to 134. Yeah, so that I think that makes sense, and we can input that in as the value in our prediction. So yeah, I think that will make sense. So we put in 133 here, and basically we can execute that on Jupyter now, and we can see that should, yeah, so that basically gives us 90.6 as a prediction, and it just shows you how prediction can be used in Pyro itself. Thank you.